Hi everyone, I'm Mark from AF Expo Trading. First of all, happy Easter. Here we are. And the roundup for the No Trade Week in March. So No Trade Week is a non-event. It's really a lesson in when to be careful of anything. Given we had the massive moves in the pound yen and the euro yen in the previous week, what we see this week is exactly what I would expect, and a time to sort of walk away, not do anything, and follow the rules 100%. Otherwise, you'd get crucified. Also, at the end, we'll just have a quick look at a couple of charts with the new generation code and the new version of the PT3, the enhanced version that has the DeMarca filters built into it. It works on trend plus DeMarca as a filter. Far supersedes the ordinary PT3 that we've been using. So I'll have just a quick look at those couple. All right, let's come through and see what sort of a mess No Trade Week was. Okay, firstly, for you guys that are watching this that haven't done the course and trying to get a handle on what's going on, as I just said, it's a no trade week. So we have about 3 of those that happens in a year. What that week means, and this is all done with my FX calendar. It is a week that works out the way that the dates fall in the month with the data they release. It actually gives an extra trading week in the month. Now, because that trading week doesn't have any specific data coming out, it means the algos and the powers that be have total control over it. And if it happens to fall in a week after we've had a major move, oh boy, you can see what they do. So let's just come through and have a look. And this is really relevant for you guys that haven't done the course and aren't in the know with what goes on. So as we start off with pound AUD, here we go. Look at this. Now, once we get to in here, we have got, there is just nothing. As I said, you've got to have highs and lows, swinging highs, swinging lows. We come in here, this one's out of whack. Right, pardon me. So here's the first long one. Now we've had a run down, so we'll have a shot at it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's just going nowhere. You need to get out of that. Once that sets up, then we get into the situation. We've had a go there. This one here is right by our trigger levels. Again, there's the formation. This is the trick they set up. Bang, 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 and it's no follow through within 4 or 5 bars. Once we get past that, pardon me, now we've set up the trend for the week, and here it is. It is just one sideways block. As soon as you see that, you immediately walk away. Ignore these trades that have done this in here. They are behind there. We don't know what's going to work or what's not going to work. Is it going to go long? Is it going to go short? All I'm interested in when I see stuff like this is when it goes right up to here and outside of there and does a trade back the other way. And of course, because everything is back to front in the screen, we get a long trade thrown up there, but the formation isn't correct for the normal PT3 to give us the reverse shot to take it back down. So that's what happens. So, that's following the rules. That's what you have to do in this game to make money, is be aware of that. So of course that comes after big massive moves in here. Well, I call them massive, they are to what we get this day and age. That's what happens. Pound yen. Same thing, here it is. It's just a flat line after this big run up here. Can't expect anything else in it. We don't get a shot at that, we don't get a shot at that. This one here, what are you going to do with that? I know what I'm going to do. I look back here and all I can see is that's one section, right? It hasn't done 2 sections all the way in 2 days right back to here. There's no way in hell I'm interested in playing in stuff like that. That's just pure desperation trading. That's really gambling at its finest. And this is what happens when you can't learn to sit on your hands in trading. This is where you learn to sit on your hands. If you can't learn to sit on your hands in trading and you get in there and that stuff, you can take a big chunk out of your account in one fell swoop. AUD USD, let's see what it had in here in PT3. Again, up to here, it's wrong. Green, it should be pink. Green up here, in there. Pink never got to our trigger level. This one actually did get to our trigger level and it's up enough. And there it is. It's up above here. It's been coming up. How many sections is there? So if we look at that there, what I talk about. There, 1, 2. Basically it's done 3 sections up. And a nice little tight turn top. There it is. And that's what happens, as nice as you like. In 1, 2, 3, there goes the bars and away it goes. All right. Now, if you didn't have that trade marked on there using the PT3 or something similar to like I used, you would not have a hope in hell of picking that up at all, right? That's the beauty of what we're dealing with. Once we get down to here, we've got one trade out of that. Down, 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 we get this one here. And what do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, immediately it hits a brick wall. So what do? We get the hell out of it. No point staying in that. And so the story goes right through until we had this one that popped up here. We've got this one's come right down here. Look at this here. Way oversold. There's our formation. Stop there. Almost gets stopped out. This is why you have your stop 10% out. And up it goes to the target. There you go. Quickly, Euro Yen. Green when we're up here in the pink, green again up here, green up here. Now we're in behind all this in here. I look at that trade there. It's wrong by the market, but when you look at that, it encompasses the whole thing. I'm not interested in it. Not interested at all. And then we get down to here. And let's have a look at this one here, whether the ADX brings it in right. Yep, the ADX brings that in perfectly. It's dropped down through the levels and dropped again. The DeMarca, it'll be past its use by date, but the ADX says there's volatility growing here. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough to get through to the end of the week. That's what it does. Okay? All right. So I've had a few requests on these other codes, so let's just have a look at a couple of charts. So there's 2 codes that I use. One is what I call the new generation code, which is basically the trend. It's a trend following code. And the other one is an enhanced version of the PT3. Now it works on trends and turns, and it also has the DeMarca filter built into it. So you can really fine tune the setups tighter in the turns and select those. So let's just quickly come through and have a look on MT5. I normally use 20-minute charts on there. Again, this is the beauty about using MT5 compared to MT4. So let's just come through and have a look at that and see what we've got. Okay, pound AUD. So the first one we got on here is the new generation code. It is the trend following code. I strongly suggest that you don't use this in no trade weeks, because no trade weeks you just do not know what you're going to get, and you can get into a situation where you'll get 4 or 5 entries in a row that don't fire. But when I'm looking at this for manual trading, when I get the likes of these here setups, I'll only take one 2 at the most in a row and let them go, sort of thing. Or if I've got 2 live trades, I won't even touch anything else in there. So if we have a look at just this last week on this code here, now there's one more thing that you can do with this code that you can't do now. So we've got, see how that's marked PT3? I can actually change this. So in our EA codes, I can make this a PT2 code, right? All I do is this, click 2, there, and bang. So when you go to PT3, it just filters it a little bit more, right? But in the EA codes, we want all those trades in there because it's purely a numbers game. So we can look at it in that light there. Manual, I prefer that. Or here's something that none of you guys have seen before. Let's have a PT4 and see what that does for the week. So we still get our trades. Some weeks it actually filters the trades out and goes through, and not too bad. Now you can really, with this, and I'll just put it on here, not that it's going to mean much in this week. You can go to a 5-bar configuration, which actually in the likes of the indices actually does not work just too bad. You've got to have a collection of 5 bars, gives you the head section, and then you work through from there. So that there now tidies it up. You've got 1, 2 trades live in there. If we come back to the previous week, what I was saying about, and we drop this back to a PT3. So these codes are extremely versatile, and these are all the settings in here, that section size, the bar back filter that I'm using, of course, that there, specific time window. So I've got the time window is from the 30 bar up to the 1600 bar because we're on FP. So we'll pop that back onto there and just quickly go back and have a look at last week where there was some movement, where you'd want to be in there here, and these couple coming down in here, and then the week before we had those ones running up to there. Now that is one code. The other code is now the enhanced version of the PT3. So let's have a look at firstly this week here. All right, so this one has the demarker filter built in, and it works on trades that come in on the turns only. So we've got one that went down and did its target. On the upside here, we've got 2 very nice trades, and then the big one coming down on the top. That was just this last week, so that wasn't too bad in there. We come back to the week before, 1 there, and the 2 right at the start of the week up there. So it does tend to fill the trades out a little bit more. It's quite good. This on here, you're all looking at and saying, what the hell's that? When you're manual trading this guy back here, I haven't got it on there, but let me explain what it is. It is simply a smooth moving average, one set on the high, one set on the low. Now if you get a formation that's right in the middle of that, smack bag in the middle of that, it's best not to take it because it's in no man's land. So this code here, you should not really get anything. It's all right if it touches like there, because we're looking at turns. But when you get to the trend code, the new generation trend one, it's best to stay right away from it. Okay, let's have a look at the mess of the pound yen. So we've got on here last week, which is the no trade week. There's just no love whatsoever. But then we come back from the week prior, and these are all 3.8 section targets floating around in here. And there's some quite nice trades. A couple of stop outs, win, couple of wins, and down there. And that goes, and those trades follow through over the weekend. Let me just throw the trend code on. Oh, this is the PT3. So rewind. This here is the template. So it's the trend code, which you don't trade in a no trade week, and you can see that there. And if you come back to the previous week, it gives you quite a lot of nice trades. That's the trend new generation. The PT3 new, if we have a look at this week here, again, we got one trade that come in the bottom here, and that we wouldn't want to be taking anything more than that, and even that never took its target out. So again, you got one here at the start of the week, which was a fair call. So with these here, you basically, unless they're super, super bad, you just take what the code throws up. Just take one, maybe two in a row, but preferably one, and when it's closed out, go to the next. We come back to the week before in here, we got a win here and a win here, and nothing there. So what these, if we have a look at this here, let me just do something here. We're all over the place. Let me do that and this. And see what we've got in here. So this is the run up. So the run up in here, the 19th, 20th, with the normal PT3, as you know, where it's looking for turns only. So you've got it on one chart with turns, and then you've got the trend following, which comes in and puts you in nicely to follow the trends up. And that's what you do. Also, these trending ones here, if you get in a trade here, I've also been looking at using this smooth moving average. If you get in a position here and it's starting to take off, let me just do this quickly. This is starting to draw out time, so that's the high. And we want another one on back here. That will do. So we've got that in there. There's our target there, but we can hold that right up here until that starts to drop off there, or where that's touched, which is there. So it just, usually it doesn't add, but a little bit more. What I'm looking for is when you get a, its extremity away from there, that's when you know it's starting to run out of a puff. It always has one grasp to the top, it comes back, and then it has another shot up. On that second one up there is a good place to be looking at exiting a trade if you want to hold a trade. Right, you know, these ones that are first here. Just a shame that they did that, which was designed, of course, to take all the stops out of those ones that got in early here, where they're using smaller moving averages, crosses and all that sort of gizmo. That's what it does there. So that's just the difference in the two codes for that week. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Euro New Zealand. So let's just go back to full screen. New Zealand, this one here. And again, it picked out the one trade there, and this one here, same thing applies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going now. And see this one, what I said about being in the there, and this one here, forget it. Just forget it. We've got to be either up there or underneath it. And if we come back here to the previous week, down underneath is really good, and there. So that's the difference, and that's what these new codes do. It just enhances our trading greatly and gives you way more opportunities, more sophisticated, but that's running on MT5. All right, guys, look, hope you have a nice break over Easter. I'm heading away for a couple of days as soon as I finish putting this out. Enjoy yourselves, and let's see what we get into next week, data week. So it's probably going to be maybe a little bit iffy sort of thing, but we might start to get some moves. But in the next week or two, I would expect some big moves. All right, guys, take care, safe trading, and we'll catch you down the track.